cars, cash, houses. I'll never forget how my son, I have 3 kids, my daughter who is 21 graduating college here in the next month, and my middle son who's 18 about to graduate high school, and then I have a 5-year-old. Well, at the time, my middle son was in the 7th grade. He's in 12th grade now. He said to me, Mom, I'm going to go live with my dad because you can't afford to care for all 3 of us. And I'm like, what is that for a 7th grader? What are you, like 13 at the time?
Right,
or 12 at the time? What is that for a 12, 13-year-old to say to someone in her 30s that I'm going to go live with my father because you can't afford to care for us? It was like he took on the adult role, and and it was like when he said that, I just felt like he lost all faith in me. And it was at that moment I realized I got to do better. I got to, if I'm really going to follow my dreams to success, no matter what, man, I don't care what circumstances come at me. I don't care what blows I take in the face, uppercut, sucker punches, whatever, jabs. You know what I'm saying? I was going to bob and weave and take it because I was on a path. My mission was to show my son that, son, I'm better than my circumstances. I'm better than my environment. It is worth it to live your dreams, to follow your dreams to success. And for me, much like how you said, my son is what kept me going. Every time I said, man, forget this, I'm going to quit, I thought about my son. And he may not have thought that his mom was a loser, but in my eyes, that's how I felt, like I was a loser because I had to split up my family. So it's just amazing how those little ones will fuel your purpose, will fuel your drive to be successful. Now, you said, so your son is actually what led you back to the church? Did I hear you correctly with that as well?
Yes, my son actually started, I didn't get into church, but I started reading the Bible again and started
there we go.
believing again. I started believing again, because I honestly, and I have to be honest about it. Even after I had found out I was pregnant, I still was blaming everyone. I still was that child just blaming the world, for me, for me going through so many different things. And now I have to drop out of college. I mean, all of these things that were going through my head, and now I'm pregnant. Like, it's just like, really?
Right.
Really now on top of everything else, I'm pregnant. I don't know how to take care of a child. And I was, I got to the point where I was selfish. I didn't care about nobody else for me. It got to that point. I didn't worry about no one else but me. And here it is, I'm pregnant and I have to care for someone else, and I don't even know how to love me. It just didn't add up to me. And eventually, I was one day I said, you know what, I can't do this. I'm going to the doctor. This can't happen. And I made the phone call, and I made an appointment, to go to the doctor, and I set it up to have an abortion. I don't condone abortion, but it was my mindset at 20 years old. 2021 is my mindset. And I promise you, I woke up the morning of, and I could not get out of the bed.
Oh, my gosh.
I was throwing up. I was in tears. I mean, I just could not move. And that moment I realized that I couldn't do it. I wasn't going to do it. And
wow.
That was it. Yep.
Wow, man. That's the reason why I like for people to share their story, I know you're a little apprehensive about sharing your story. You haven't really shared it much with a lot of people. And the reason why I like for people to share their story is because your story is not for you. It's for others. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm listening, and I've heard a portion of your story before, and I'm still getting goosebumps. And I just want to say this. It's just amazing how we think that we're going through so much hell, right? Or that we've been through so much hell. And there's always, I promise you, there's always someone who's going through more hell than you. So with that being the case, my listeners, there's no reason why you can't live your dreams, why you can't start that business, why you can't release that weight, as my girl Melanie Edge would say, why you can't go to school and get that degree, why you can't become that supervisor on the job, why you can't be in a better marriage, why you can't be a whole person. There are no excuses, because at the end of the day, somebody has it a whole lot worse than you, and you don't have to leave out of your own community to find somebody who's got it worse. It could be your next door neighbor. So the thing of it is, start now, start today with taking control of your life and changing the way things are. And listening to you, Vanessa, would you say that change has to first start internally, has to begin with you, right?
Yes. That was the first start. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, just met you at the Business Explosion Mastermind in Florida, and it was explosive. Meeting you, one would never know that you came from such a tumultuous background, would never have had any idea, because you present, I'm telling you, because you present yourself as a strong person, and I had no problems with connecting with you. I mean, I didn't see you as standoffish or anything. You blended right in. You were forthcoming with your knowledge. And so I guess what I'm leading up to is, how did you make the transition from being wanting to be by yourself, having the weight of the world on you, to now being this successful businesswoman? And you've got to elaborate and tell people what you are doing now, because a lot of people want to know, how do I bridge the gap from hurt, from pain, from disappointment, from setback, from low self-esteem, from low confidence, to now, boom, putting myself in front of thousands of people, millions of people, and sharing my business and sharing my story. How did you make that jump? What did you do? And tell people what your business is about.
Okay. Well, the first instance that happened was I was working for a company for 4 years, and I worked my way up in the company to manager. And I thought that this was something that I wanted to do. So I, bust my behind, trying to impress, to impress everyone, with what I could do.
And Vanessa, you could come back to the phone just a little bit. You started getting a little distant from us. There we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. So I wanted to impress everyone with what I could bring to the table. But it was this one time that, I was spending countless hours at this job. I was losing time with my family. I was losing time with my son. I was losing time with myself. I was just extremely exhausted because of this job. And I was working like 80 to 90 hours a week. I stayed in this job morning to night from 7:30 till it opened till about 10 o'clock at night when it closed.
Wow.
And 7 days a week. And it was one day that the general manager came in, and I had cleaned the store up, and he told me that if it wasn't up to his standards, then he would have to make some decisions, basically letting me know that he would have to terminate me. And it was that moment that I realized that I couldn't allow that to happen. No one else could be the reason for my son not having something to eat, having food on the table, or clothes on his back, or a place to stay. It was in that moment that I realized I had to do something different, because I wanted more for myself. So my thought process was to get a better job, but I decided to quit. I just turned in my 2 weeks notice. I quit that job, and without anything waiting for me, I decided I would put in some applications. I would just be online, just waiting for someone to call me.
Wait a minute. So you just up and quit a job without having a job to go to?
Yes. I know. I said, but you know what? I believe that much in what I had to offer. I believe that much in myself. I knew what I had to bring. I had to bring to the table. So I wasn't worried about no job calling me because of my job. What I had to offer. I didn't care about that. I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't thinking about bills or any of that. I said, you know what? I'm gonna walk out on faith.
Wow.
And I walked out. So, but I just I was online, and I saw people, writing things about make money online. And I was like, hey, I could try this, make a few dollars here and there. And I made $50, and it wasn't a whole bunch, but it just dawned on me. I didn't work 5 hours to make that $50. Some people make $7.25. What, $7.25, $7.50 an hour. Now you take that and you multiply it by how many hours you need to work to make 50. And I made that online within an hour. So it just resonated with me at that moment. It was like something, a light bulb, bing. you know, and I was like, okay, if I could do this, you know, then I can have more time with my family. I can travel. It just opened up my eyes and my mind to a new world. But I found, you know, right after that, a job called me. But my mind was changed now. I was already looking up things and, you know, doing some research and all types of things. So my mind was changed. So when I went to this job, I quit in a month. Because I wasn't there anymore, and I haven't crossed into a job since. You know,
wow.
And although I haven't had, you know, massive success like some people, you see them all online, and you know they're 6-figure, 7-figure earners. I have been able to make money online to the point where, you know,
Vanessa, you're drifting away from us again. Okay, you're drifting away from us again.
Okay. Can you
all right, there you go. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I was able to make money online to where, you know, my bills was paid and I wasn't worried about, you know, where my meals was going to come from. And then after the business mastermind is where it all came to light for me. Everything that I've been researching, everything that I had been, all the ideas that I, you know, had, it all made sense. So I made it up in my mind from the moment that I left the business mastermind to the time that I got home that I was going to take massive action towards my business. Wow. And that's what I've been doing. You know, so now I can actually say that I've created my own course, that I've been coaching other people, and I've been I'm actually putting on a event for a tour where we're going to tour the entire summer. So we have a few sponsors. We have a few prospective possible sponsors, and we're looking for more sponsors, corporate sponsors for throughout the summer. We're going to take it's called the Shinds Empowerment Movement. So we're going to be doing a vision board movement tour and surrounding cities. Yes. I've also helped my business partner, Sierra, launch her first product, which is Designs by Shinds. So, I mean, we have a whole lot of things just happening, and it's happening so fast. And just like you said, when your life is just, you know, when you just are miserable and everything is moving slow and you don't want to get out of the bed. I mean, I was there. I was at that point. You know, but now I'm up. I don't care. I'll go to sleep 4 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 7, and I'm up and energetic. I'm ready. You know, and I'm just blessed. I'm excited about where life is going to take me. You know, I want to be able to travel and make money. That is my ultimate goal. Is just to be able to travel and make money and to empower others to do the same for their businesses.
Well, I tell you, you are already doing that, whether you know it or not. I mean, because just sharing your story today on the line with people, I know you are empowering them to know that they can get up from out of the ashes and do some great things. And like I said, man, you have been enlarging your territory, a.k.a. exploding your business, but not only your business, you're actually helping others to enlarge their territory, and that is what it's all about. Because I like to quote Napoleon Hill, and so many other people say the same thing, just in a different way. Like Zig Ziglar, he says it as well. You know, the quickest way to be successful is to help others be successful. And so that's one of the things, if we can totally wrap our minds around that concept, we will experience success beyond belief. But like I said, you're doing great things. I mean, after you came back from the Business Explosion Mastermind, like you said, it fell into place for you. You've been doing webinars, you've created courses, you're coaching people. Now you're about to put on your own event and travel. Oh, man, this is just unbelievable. And, you know what I'm saying? Now, did you see yourself when you were in the valley, when you were going from foster homes, when you know, your mother wasn't there for you, when you lost your mother and your adoptive mother, you know, when you were being molested, abused, when you had to take on being the mom for your brother, when you had to become a mom at a young age.
Right.
You